This is World History Day 24. This is 24C, and this will be our last lecture for today. We're talking about Sparta, and you know Sparta, you remember Sparta. The city-state of Sparta rises to dominance on the Peloponnesian Peninsula. It's on a completely different peninsula even than Athens. So Athens is more at the south of kind of what's mainland Greece here. And then this extra peninsula of Greece, known as the Peloponnesus, that's where Sparta is in the south there. Athens and Sparta generally would not trade with each other going across this rocky mountain land. They might do that to fight, to kind of have the surprise, or perhaps because they wanted to use their foot soldiers instead of their navy. But in terms of at peaceful times and trading, they would often use the sea, because once you got to the sea from Sparta, maybe that way, then boop, that was the fastest way to actually get to Athens. Sparta was a little brutal. They got some of their might by conquering and enslaving their neighbors. Note number 2, after a helot, which was the name for a state slave rebellion, the Spartans established the Lycurgan system. And in that system, all citizens were considered equal and led by 2 kings and a council of elders, because they did not want a dictatorship. And eventually Sparta is going to have an oligarchy. So that council of elders, those elites, are going to be the rulers along with multiple kings to make sure no one's a dictator. And Lycurgus is the creator of the Spartan constitution. His reforms stressed equality, military fitness, and austerity. Austerity is a fancy college-level word, which basically means that you can have a simple life. You don't need a lot of adornment or luxury. You live a simple, strong life. And that is kind of their military motto. Note number 3, the Lycurgan system forced Spartans to place military defense of Sparta ahead of personal needs. Every male in Sparta was required to train to be a soldier. That was part of life in Sparta from a young age, from the age of 7. All right, they began their military training. They were soldiers for life until they died honorably in battle, and they were expected never to retreat in battle. So if they were outnumbered, they were not going to run away. They were not going to flee or be missing in action. They were going to continue to charge the enemy, and so they were willing to die for Sparta. Number 5. So men were so busy with the military that did give Spartan women actually a strength of their own, and that they were left to do most of the business jobs, the administrative positions in Sparta. They were considered the landowners because men's lives were never guaranteed, and they made the day-to-day business decisions. It reminds me of a woman described in Proverbs 31, how, she considers a field and buys it out of her earnings. She plants a vineyard. Her arms are strong for her tasks. She gives orders to her family members and, assigns the daily duties. She has no fear for her household. All of them are clothed in scarlet, Proverbs 31. Now we're going to talk about Athens. Athens possibly has influenced America even more than Sparta, although Sparta has its own influence with our pride in our branches of military and navy and everything. Athens actually had the superior navy to Sparta. So if Athens and Sparta fight on land, it was often that Sparta kind of forced their hand with that, because Sparta was proud of its foot soldiers. Athens tended to have the superior navy, but really did not force their citizens to be in armed conflict. A lot of them were. It was considered honorable, but they prized other things even more: philosophy and wisdom. Athens named after the Greek idol for wisdom, Athena. Athens emerged, as you know, note number 1, as another powerful Greek city-state. Seized land from smaller landowners and sold many indebted farmers into slavery. And let's talk about Draco. So you may have heard the word draconian, which is named after Draco. Draco was a leader in Athens who kind of brought it to power, but he did so in kind of a nasty way. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to us because it's important. Draco's reforms represent a first step in the development of Athenian democracy. Draco established the rule of law, indicating that everyone was equal in the eyes of the law. Sounds good. However, the punishments for breaking the